Hey guys, what's cracking? We're back with another stream here. This one's a bit of a different one because we've got a few topics that aren't often seen on this channel. We've got the death battle over here on the right, and on the left we've got the new Cardfight Vanguard manga, which is based on the Parallactic clash. Kagutsu seems to be the main character of this one, and it seems going to have a bit of an interesting premise because it's going to be a bit of a prequel to Divine Season 5, and I decided, hey, why not go ahead and take these two kind of smaller topics, smash them into one stream, and just have a good time with you. So, having said that, we're going to go ahead and start off, I think, with the death battle, because I think the death battle is, it's going to take a bit of a minute here. We're going to have to talk about some stuff about it, right? Because I like both these characters. Both these series are series that I'm really acquainted with. I love these series, especially Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho is probably a top 5 anime for me. It was top 10 for a good while, but I think after really collecting my thoughts, I've come to the conclusion it's more of a top 5er. And it's just a special granddaddy shonen that people, I think, don't really talk about enough, right? Like, it's got a bit of a resurgence, but this death battle is a really good W for it because, oh man, can I just say, this was the magnum opus for your mangaka hiatus extraordinaire. Even more so than Hunter x Hunter. I don't care what people say about Hunter x Hunter. It's a good series. Yu Yu Hakusho was honestly his best, though. I'm gonna be completely honest about that. Let's see, we've got Boren, Wee, Mealfie. Welcome in, everyone. How's the stream going? Everything sound good? Seems to be really loud there. Let's go ahead and turn that off a little bit. So we're gonna wait for a moment to let any people like matriculate in, and in the meantime, what are we thinking about the death battle here for everyone who came to watch the death battle? I know some people are here for the manga, and we're gonna get to that after the death battle. So if you want to chill with us and watch this and just wait for the manga bit of the reading, then, you know, be my guest, right? I had an amazing day 2 days ago last night. That's totally not confusing. Hey, what's up, Kirito? Welcome in. Now, thinking about this matchup just from the rip, right, before we even get into the video itself, it's kind of interesting that they just kind of, you're betting on Yugioh? Okay, so it's a bit of an interesting case because I feel like this death battle is going to be closer than it feels at first glance, because a lot of people are going to go for Yugioh, right? He's one of the big shonens, and big shonens didn't have really ridiculous, like, power creep arcs because they just keep getting more powerful to meet these, like, ever-growing thresholds. And Ichigo can pretty easily be scaled above planetary, but he's a little bit debatable there. But here's the thing, though. Yu Yu Hakusho has some really strong scaling that people don't realize. And I want to talk about that a bit more because I think a lot of people understand Bleach scaling to a pretty basic level. Not a lot of people know what Yu Yu Hakusho does, right? They think that Yusuke's big things is he's got Spirit Gun and he can punch really hard, right? And this is, like, true, of course, but let's put it this way. Near the end of the series, right, Genkai, which is Yusuke's mentor, flat out states that he can destroy the planet if he wants to. Sensui, he was an S-class combatant, not a demon, he was a combatant, and he says that to destroy the planet is like kicking over an anthill. This can go even further beyond, though, right, because you have star-level scaling potentially with Yusuke. And that comes from a manga panel with regards to the Spirit Wave Orb that he receives from Genkai. Kind of funny she comes back into play again. It said that it had the energy of a small star. Now, in manga, there's statements that are very facetious. Things that you may not want to take into consideration. For instance, Ichigo's Bankai. There was a, I'm trying to remember which one of the database entries it was, but there's a database entry about it. It's a very famous database entry if you're, like, into the power scaling community, but it says that his Bankai makes him as fast as lightning. Now, if you want to do some exponential kind of calc stacking kind of stuff on that, say he's like 1,000 or 10,000 greater than lightning, yeah, sure, be my guest. That's not that impressive, though, especially because near the end of the series, when you get into 1,000 Year Blood War Arc, which, by the way, spoilers for these series, in case that wasn't going to be apparent for this, but spoilers. 1,000 Year Blood War Arc, you have the Ashvalan Light, right? And the Ashvalan Light should be greater than light speed because there's some character, like, it kind of is instantaneous, right? Even before that, right? I heard the next best battle would be Cell versus Metal Sonic. Damn, I didn't know about that. I mean, how could I? I didn't even watch this yet, but that's crazy. Honestly, that actually kind of goes into a whole other can of worms depending on the continuities for Metal Sonic. Can you tell I like power scaling? Anyway, So, in terms of speed and power, I actually think Ichigo might need some arguments made for him. You might need to get into some calc stacking, and Death Battle loves to calc stack, so they might calc stack him above Ichigo, which is my, no, above Yusuke, right? They might calc stack Ichigo above Yusuke, but Yusuke has the better directly stated feats, which is what makes this weird, right? Now, in terms of Arsenal is kind of a wash, right? Gets potential versus a ray gun, you know, easy enough, just built with our projectile weapon. Both have decent martial arts, although obviously Yusuke should be well above, because Yusuke has fought martial arts masters, right? And he's been able to handle them quite frequently. Ichigo as well has been able to win a lot of sword fights with Soul Reapers, and Soul Reapers live for centuries on end. That's pretty incredible, right? So both of them are naturally gifted combative talents, but I think Yusuke's sheer ferocity and his ability to like go hand to hand is incredibly impressive to an extent that I think might outweigh Ichigo's. But Ichigo's is a little bit understated, so you know you could make the argument either way. One other thing to note about these characters is I mentioned that the arsenals for either of them is pretty male managed, right? And this is honestly kind of true, because all they really do for the most part is they have variations on their powers and their basic move. So there's a couple of variations on the Getsuga Tensho, right? Like imbuing it into his sword, or trying to go for the little slash cross maneuver that he does near the end. You've got the ray gun, which the ray gun going into shotgun. He's got the spirit wave technique. So it's kind of a draw, but there's different energy sources they tap into, right? So we have regular human energy, as well as demon energy for Yusuke, and a bit of divine energy, which pops right at the end with Yomi. That's a little hard to say. I wouldn't give him the divine energy personally, because I don't really know. That felt very last minute. I wouldn't know what to do with that if I was them, so I wouldn't give it to him. But Yusuke only having two, arguably a third. You've got Quincy power, Soul Reaper power, human power. Like you've got like bits of holification, which with the visors, which kind of like enters into a whole like other plethora of like combinations. Ichigo's got a lot more going on with him. That's pretty insane. So I think Ichigo might have more power sources to tap into overall, and I think his stamina is going to be a lot greater as well than Yusuke. So if it comes down to kind of like an attrition battle, Yusuke's going to fall at some point, especially because Yusuke's fighting style tends to be a bit reckless. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to go for some sort of like last minute maneuver to be like, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to go and put all of my power into one attack, and then it just fails and then he goes out like that, right? I want Yusuke to win. He's definitely the cooler character of the two. I think Yu Yu Hakusho is better than Bleach in terms of an overall series as far as my enjoyment is concerned, right? But verse scaling is hard. Yusuke has the better stated feats. Ichigo has the better ceiling if you take calc stacking into account. Ichigo has better stamina. In terms of technique, Yusuke might have a slight edge, and in terms of like variety, it's a wash. Shinigami, Hollow, Quincy, and Fullbringer. Right, you see, like, that's already, like, 4+, right? Whereas Yusuke, you'd have to kind of, like, wank a bit just to give him the divine energy there, and that's barely 3. So, and ultimately, it's also worth noting that the qualities between demon energy and, like, his regular spirit energy isn't really going to be too impactful in a fight with Ichigo, because that's just not really relevant, right? Whereas Ichigo, he's just tapping into a bunch of different energy sources that like are actually full depths of wells of power, right? So that's kind of where we're left off with it. So yeah, I'd probably give it to Ichigo, but Yusuke is definitely gonna bring a really powerful fight here. Let's see, how many people have hopped into this? 60 viewers? Yeah, okay, seems like people are starting to hop on in. 90s spiritual shonen versus 2000s. It is kind of like that, although admittedly these two are also just like titans of shonen, right? Yu Yu Hakusho is a granddaddy, and Bleach was a part of the big three. At least as far as I'm concerned, he's a part of the big three, right? Like, you have a couple different interpretations on the big three. Some people say that big three is any combination of, like, with Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, or whatever. Some people bring Bleach into it. I personally think that it's One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach, and that Dragon Ball kind of transcends big three. It's more of a granddaddy. It's someone the same way that Yu Yu Hakusho was, right? So you've got a battle between granddaddy and like a big three, right? So that's going to be interesting too. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the death battle, huh? And let me know how volume is for you guys.
Kurosaki versus Yusuke Urameshi.
The substitute Shinigami
Yu-Gi-Oh!
of Bleach
Pokemon Magic?
versus
Oh,
the
well, that's for
spirit detective
TCGs.
of
There's
Yu Yu
more than one kind of
Hakusho.
Big 3.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to
This
analyze their
how it
weapons,
goes.
armor, and skills
Yeah,
to
here we
find
go.
out who would win a death battle.
Right.
Tell me, Boomstick, what happens when we
Close your grave.
die?
Endless nothingness? Jeez, man, I don't know. We just started.
Our souls are ferried by Shinigami, gods of death, in an eternal cycle of death and rebirth.
That was my second guess.
And when a soul goes astray, warped by evil and
The,
regret,
I always
it's
forget
a
the first
Shinigami's
episode
job to
had weird
purify such
BDSM vibes
violent
with the whole,
hollows
like,
and send them off to
restraining
the realm
from
of
Ricky.
the
That's
dead,
funny.
the Soul Society.
Works great till it doesn't. Enter Ichigo Kurosaki, whose tragic anime backstory came way too early when his mom was
Translator.
killed by a hollow. Reason
Talk
number
about
one why you should
Shakespeare.
never
Orihime.
want your kid to be the anime protagonist.
Left with his grief, young Ichigo was crushed under the weight of survivor's guilt.
So he lashed out the only way he knew how, beating people up.
But this wound began to heal when he found his calling, upon meeting a Shinigami named Rukia. To stop a powerful
I'll tell you this much, you know where Bleach does beat Yu Yu Hakusho though? The music, on God.
Boom.
They had a
Just like that,
soundtrack that was
Ichigo's a
gifted from the
Shinigami.
heavens, dude.
Substitute Shinigami. To carry out his duties, Ichigo sheds his body for an invisible one made of spiritual matter called Reishi.
Reishi.
He can wield vast amounts of spiritual energy, called Ryoku, and exert it offensively in the form of spiritual pressure, or Reiatsu.
Okay, that's a lot of big words, but all it really means is.
Oh, you ain't even getting into some of the other words. You got Shikai, Bankai, gotta talk about qualification. Oh, yeah. Orihime is the yellow-haired childhood friend who's basically his like a love interest for him.
And leaping off of invisible footholds in the air.
But you know, it gets a little
Boosting
weird,
skills like
right?
Shinpo,
It's
he can
shown in
virtually fly.
romance. It's always weird.
To the kid who beat up bullies for their
Yeah,
lunch
it's
money.
like, and near the end, it's like
Hello
ends up
to
his
the
wife,
town's
and
new
that's the thing. But it's
superhero
like,
with fellow
for a long while, it's
Ghostbusters
kind of hard to
Orihime,
interpret.
Chad and Uryu, plus Rukia. It was the Shinigami's job to tear hollows a new
That's a babe.
hole.
While balancing responsibilities at school, of course.
Do you
GPA
feel
comes
like
first,
number
and maybe a round or
one?
two of tech.
But it wouldn't
Shining
be possible
bright
without his
for
Shinigami blade,
everyone.
a Zanpakuto.
Living out
It's
your
basically a superpowered
fantasies.
spirit that's
Oh,
physically a
Susan
sword.
Bachi, yeah.
Ghost sword.
Though strangely, Ichigo's sword is composed of two distinct spirits, both named Zangetsu, which isn't confusing at all.
Just call him Old Man
Oh,
Zangetsu
yeah.
and Hollow Zangetsu. Anyway,
Although,
the double ghost
a lot of
sword
people like
gives
to call
Ichigo
him,
lots of new moves,
Shiro.
including his trademark attack,
and that was an
the
easier
sword
distinction.
beam to end all sword beams. Getsuga Tensho!
Tensho!
Getsuga Tensho is incredibly powerful, and so effective that Ichigo
I love
developed
Chad. I
multiple
wish Chad had
variants.
more, like,
He can
justice.
fire it as a wave, detonate it mid-attack
Chad,
as a barrier,
Chad and
combine two
Orihime
at
basically
once
became,
into
like,
the even
fans after a
stronger
while.
Getsuga Jujisho.
Oh yeah,
Cutting
Jujisho.
the
That was
biggest
the
hollows
cross
down to
technique. I forget the
size.
name of it.
Ichigo was ridiculously strong, even from
At least
grade
Udio
one.
kind of
He
came
can
back
make
near the
giant
end.
shockwaves and parry spiritual light beams from a Menos Grande. And these aren't fake, slower-than-light lasers.
I wonder if they're going to
Now,
get into the
confirmed they're
scaling
real
of
light. The novels say
Waco
so, too.
Mundo
Plus,
and like
early
how
on,
large Waco
Uryu
Mundo
was
was,
so
because that tends to be like a
fast, he
good
left his own shadow behind.
But as
AP
Ichigo
thing.
became more involved with the Soul Society,
well, relative to the
quickly
Iran
found
arc, I
that
guess.
he wasn't good enough.
This Byakuya guy's so fast, Ichigo can't even see him. Time for a good old-fashioned training arc. Hit the music!
Until now,
Chad
Zangetsu
was
had
basically a
operated
nothing
only in
burger
its
for a
base
long time.
state,
That was unfortunate. I like
Shikai.
Chad a lot.
So Ichigo learned to release its inner power, a 10 times boost that takes most Shinigami a decade to master.
Oh, you should keep up with 1,000-Year Blood War, dude. The anime is like a love letter to Bleach. I kid you not, Daniel. As someone who's been watching Bleach for a long time, they put everything into that anime adaptation.
Because Ichigo's greatest
Kubo
is his
remembered
potential
why
to
Bleach was his
improve.
baby for
Despite
that.
only being a
On
teenager,
God.
he mastered swordsmanship well enough to thrash experts who had been training for centuries. He can quickly adapt to new weapons and styles
And
mid-fight,
Suzuki.
surpassing his limits time and time again.
Like when he took on Catboy Grimjow. He was getting clamped, but as soon as he heard Orihime cheering him on, that was
catches
how
the-
he
he catches
smashed
the bit
that
here.
cave.
You mean Grimjow,
It
right?
just slashes him, dude.
But even with that
I
deep
love that
character
moment.
energy, Ichigo couldn't match Big Bad Aizen. With just a finger,
Dude, he stopped his
Aizen
theme song,
stopped
man.
Ichigo's Bankai and his theme song.
Oh shit,
Woo!
they actually brought that up.
Ichigo
Nice.
needed to tap into his unexplained hollow power. Except Hollow Zangetsu wasn't going to make it easy.
Old
Oh,
Man
yeah.
Zhang's pretty chill, but this guy's a menace.
Still,
It's a
Ichigo
Soul Society
needed
arc.
his
Things
help
were a
and
little bit
conjured
touch and
hollow
go.
mass
It's
to
just kind of
expand
unfortunate that
his
Pound
power.
arc as
But this
a
meant the
filler had
hollow
to like come
within
into play,
only
dude.
grew
And they insisted
stronger.
on making that filler
Messed up,
somehow
he can
anime
fire
relevant.
lasers,
I'm like, come on,
bypass
guys.
super senses,
Don't even bother.
and heal lost limbs. but piss him off enough and he'll go
yes.
full hollow. And
Basto
you really
Drode.
don't want that.
Hollowification exceeds even Bankai, and was enough to crush Ukiora in a battle that shook
Ukiora-
all of Mundo, the world.
I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Who do you think is the
Ichigo could even tear
strongest?
through all 3 layers
The strongest
hell.
of those
But with help from his
those
secret
powers. So
Shinigami father,
you know how Ukiora,
Ichigo
right? So
continued to
Ukiora
train
is
for
in
months in the-
Ukiora's in, right? He's number 4. But you know, you have a few contestants for who's actual number 1 strongest, right? You could go Stark potentially. You could go for Yami because of the whole weird zero thing. Ukiora's second release could be interpreted as the as the strongest of them. Who do we think was the strongest there?
Dangai, a corridor between dimensions,
Throw on that-
until
on
he
a-
was
throw that little
finally
tidbit
ready
while they
to
keep going here.
challenge Aizen.
Challenge is an understatement. He manhandled Aizen, shattered mountains with sheer aura, and flexed so hard he smashed out of the black coffin, which crushes space like a mini
time.
black hole.
Yes,
Yet
it's like a black
it
hole,
still
dude.
Wasn't enough.
See,
So
that
by
crap
becoming
is about as
Getsuga
cool as it
itself,
gets,
Ichigo
right?
unleashed
Like
his
that's one of their
ultimate
best
attack,
scalings
the
right
Getsu,
there.
defeating
But
Aizen
Ichigo's
at the
heart
cost
is
of
like he's
all
really hard to
his
scale
power.
in that
He
form
might have saved
because
everyone, but now it was back to
Dangai doesn't
Normiville.
pop up very
Ichigo never
much.
truly realized until then just how much being a
say the
Shinigami
least.
meant to him. The power to protect others, his drive, his pride in himself was gone. He would give
Yeah.
anything to get it back.
And
Shoot, that's gotta
he
be so
did,
relatable.
Thanks to a surprise assist from Rukia. Boom! Shinigami again!
Just in time for a 1,000-year blood
Year
war with
Blood
the
War.
final endgame
Yeah,
boss,
boy.
Yugioh.
Who planned to end everything. And while other Shinigami tried their
One
best,
thing that's interesting
only
about this
Ichigo
is
was
they talk
special
about how
enough to
he was
pull it
going to
off.
like
His father
destroy
was a
the Soul
Shinigami.
Society and
His
like the
mother
human
was
world,
a
right?
member of the ancient
But
Quincy's. And
it's kind of
possessed by a
overblown,
Hollow.
in my
Hence,
opinion,
his two Sambato spirits,
because
one
he's
Quincy,
more like
the other
destroying the
Hollow and
Soul King,
Shinigami,
which disrupts
made
the
Ichigo a
balance of the
perfect
worlds, which
union
has
to
it coming
break
down.
Yugioh's
So it's like
fight.
he's not destroying the actual
Finally,
worlds,
Ichigo
right?
understood
It's more like
himself,
if a car
fully
was speeding
unifying
at
with
you and
both
use a gun to
Zanpakuto
shoot
spirits
its
within.
tire,
That
and then
became
it
a
like
new
careens
Shikai
off and explodes.
two new Zanpakuto.
The
True
gun didn't make
Shikai.
the car
If you
explode.
thought
The
Ichigo
gun
was strong
damaged a
before,
sensitive
oh
vital
boy,
part, which then
he's
let
the
it explode
strongest
later,
Shinigami
right?
alive.
It's kind of like the same
They're
thing here.
dead.
So let's not act
Dead.
like
Yeah.
they would destroy
Stronger than
multiples
Kenpachi,
like that so
who could
easily.
split the
At least that's my
Bangai in half.
interpretation.
Stronger than Senjumaru, who shook heaven and earth across the realms, and strong enough to match Yugioh, even after
Like
he
that's the
absorbed
thing. It's like
Soul
some of the
King.
statements
With
is
Soul King power, Yugioh
because
could
it's like
nuke all
Yusuke
three
can do these
realms,
sort of things
the
too,
human
right?
world,
It's just that it's
Soul
more
Society,
like
and Hueco Mundo, plus the Dangai and Garganta in between, which have a bunch of pocket dimensions sprinkled
Sabato
in.
Rebellion is
Hell,
okay.
Just the Soul King's corpse sent a shockwave across
it's just for the novelty to
all
see what the
realms.
Zanpakuto
And it's
like
not a matter of
forms
disrupting the
look
flow
like,
of
you know?
souls. Yugioh was going to end everything through sheer power alone.
But Ichigo still wasn't done powering up.
Entering a new half-hollow form and merging his Getsuga Tencho
kinda-
with a mighty hollow attack, the Gran Ray Sero.
Making
Yeah,
a
it's a little
giant
hard to
crescent slash that
understand.
rips through space
But
itself.
that's if you
All
don't
that power
read or
culminating
like
in
watch
his
the series,
true
right?
Bankai. A power so great, even Yugioh was scared of it.
Joke's on you! Ichigo didn't
slashes
even
right
need
through
it! You're done!
Ichigo was finally content. And 10 years later, he remains a Shinigami, having found the courage to stand on the edge of life and death, conquer his fears, and walk onward.
So, okay, they didn't really get too crazy
Most
with it, but
teenagers
okay,
have
I will
no
say,
idea
the
what-
one big takeaway, before we get into the Yusuke section, the big takeaway here is they're using Yugioh's, like, scaling, and they bring up that his energy is capable of, like, shaking the three worlds, right, and, like, threatening it. Now, that is impressive, admittedly, right? That is quite impressive. But it's a little weird, right? Because it's like, it's not like it's going to destroy the world. I don't really take to that interpretation of it. But it seems like they want that to be the interpretation. So they're giving him like easily like multi-planet. But if you could give him star at that point, depending on how you interpret what like a microcosm of a world is. That would probably put Ichigo above what Yusuke is capable of, if that's the case, because Yusuke can easily destroy the human world, right? The demon world is a much larger, hardier place, right? They even explain this as much in the Hiei versus Sasuke fight, right? Which is a pretty decent show for Death Battle, I'm not gonna lie. So, like, in that one, right, like, yeah, you've got so much like of a larger, vast, and stronger planet to go through that they can't really destroy that planet very much, but they could still like at least send tremors across a lot of it, right? And that's like multiple Earths like put into it. But it still feels like what they're going to try and say about this is that Ichigo probably outscales Yusuke in overall power because of Yabok scaling, which, again, I don't know about that, because another thing we got to take into consideration is even if you upscale Yabok, there's another issue here. Who said that Ichigo is just directly overpowering him, right? Because there could be a hacks here at play. We don't really know the full details on what Ichigo is capable of, because the final bit where he cuts down Yabok is very, how do I put this? Opaque. Like, we kind of just see him do the thing, despite, you know, all the things going Yabok's corner, like, all the different abilities he has, the Almighty, of course, being his most prevalent. It's like, what you gonna do? It's like, I know the Almighty's not, like, all-powerful. I mean, freaking Aizen was able to dupe it, thanks to the latent power of Kyoka Suigetsu, but, like, okay, I'm gonna move on, but I just wanted to point it out, right? They've kind of put their line in the sand that he's relative, if not exceeding Yabok, and that Yabok is in tandem supposed to be like multi-planetary, right? If not beyond. They're probably including Star in that.
What they want to do with their life. However, that was hardly a problem.
And again, I brought the small star thing from Yusuke. I wouldn't give that to him. I feel like that's just another bit of a panel being, like, facetious. Because, like, that is stronger than Planetary, and Planetary was something they brought up way later when they were dealing with, like, A and S class demons, right? I mean, when he had the Spirit Wave Orb, this is relative to, like, their big bad that the Spirit Wave Orb was enabled to defeat on its own was a B-class demon, right? So it seems backwards. Anyway, I'm gonna stop.
But this is chapter 1 of a battle shonen, so death is hardly the end.
Surprisingly, though, it wasn't a spooky skeleton in a hood who arrived to claim Yusuke's soul. It was a blue-haired anime girl on a broomstick.
Botan.
This was Botan, whose job was to ferry Yusuke's
My
newly
pops watched
deceased
this
spirit
anime. He
off
always
to
called
the
her
afterlife.
Botox.
Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for him, he was such an asshole that the underworld didn't see his selfless death coming and didn't have any space prepared
Yeah,
for
Chigoro
it.
was the best.
Imagine being such
There's not even a
society
debate
that
to be
the
had
second
about
you
that,
do
I'm not gonna lie.
something nice, hell itself gets caught with his pants down.
So the underworld surrogate king, Koenma, offered Yusuke an alternative.
I'm not
He could
gonna lie,
return to life as
Yu
an
Hakusho
agent
is one of those
the
animes
afterlife,
where the dub
a
just
spirit
so
detective,
vastly
solving
outclasses the
supernatural
sub,
crimes
dude.
and fighting off demonic threats
So many of
to
these
humans.
characters are dubbed so well, and Yusuke in
did
particular
what anyone would
is,
do in
like,
that situation,
iconic
and
in the
told
dub.
Satan Jr. to stop it.
Amazing
He was
dialogue
never
from this
really
kid,
good
dude.
for anything, and no one was gonna miss him. So what's the point of coming back to life? It's not like his mom would be sad, or his childhood sweetheart
rivals,
Keiko would
like-
be heartbroken, or
like,
even
pretty
his
sad
rival
about it. Yeah, there
Kuwabara
is,
would
yeah.
shed manly tears. Oh man.
At the sight of
Kuwabara
the boys
was
who cared far more
arguably
than
my
he ever
favorite
expected,
before, I'm not gonna
Yusuke
lie.
had a change of heart.
I
and accepted
respect
Koenma's
the hell out
offer,
of
returning to
Kuwabara.
life
I wish
with
he was
a
a
new
part of
purpose.
the final arc in the anime when he went to the Demon World, but
In his
I mean,
quest to
they
beat
knew
the
his
dog shit out
limits,
of
you know. They didn't
Demon
want to pull some
Yusuke
BS to
learned
get him in
harness
there.
Reiki, or spirit energy. He's ridiculously strong, fast, and durable. Heals from wounds quickly, and can see spirits invisible to mortal men.
Even early on, Yusuke could parry Suzaku's lightning arrows, which are formed from real lightning called down from the sky.
Yeah.
And with
Well,
the help of legendary
four
warrior
sacred beasts are
Genkai,
ain't
he
crap,
mastered
dude.
a
They're pretty
signature
weak, all
move
things
that could
considered.
blast anyone to smithereens.
My favorite shonen move ever.
Pretty sure four sacred
the
beasts would be like a
Spirit
C
Gun.
class.
At first, Yusuke had a limited number of shots, but eventually he turned it into his personal WMD. Stronger than any weapon on Earth, he could go finger blasting around as much
Spirit
as he wanted.
The Spirit Gun is more
Shotgun!
versatile than it appears.
Love that one.
Yusuke can bounce it off surfaces for sneak attacks, propel himself around like a rocket in flight, and produce massive explosions with each shot.
Yeah, so as you can see right here, right?
Shotgun, a mighty
Oh, the Spirit Shotgun, okay. He has a lot of different ways to, like, use his projectile, and he could form around his fist, just like how Getsuga Tensho could be combined with Zangetsu itself. So their techniques are pretty relative. Technically, even though each guy has more power sources, Yusuke's done a little bit more with his spirit energy, but it's so relative that who the F cares?
Ruin his shoes, using sleight of hand to place cigarettes on his phone.
It is true though, he is kind of clever. He is scrappy. You know, assuming being scrappy is relevant in a fight against something like Ichigo, which I don't know about yet, I feel like they're just so so ridiculously powerful. Like, what tricks do you
All
do?
it takes is a round of training or someone threatening his friends, and Yusuke's power will spike to match
Deku
stronger
IQ.
enemies. Even if it means
Shoot, just give him Kurama's IQ. Kurama is a freaking genius, dude. Absolutely dastardly.
Fighters are individually ranked on a scale of power from.
Oh, hey, yo, hold on a second. Hold on. Am I actually cooking there, chat? Hold up. They just showed Byakuya on C tier, I think.
Demons and demon fighters
Hold up, hold on, hold on, hold on.
ranked on a scale of.
Yeah. They showed Byakuya right there. Togoro's obviously B. He was the B class demon. I'd say he's upper B, but
Power from
yeah, like okay, I'm cooking, bro. Okay, I know what I'm talking about. Cool.
We're talking local threats at best. C and B are getting a bit dicey in a destroy your city kind of way. A and S
are just
well, hold on
apocalyptic.
to your ass. We're talking end of the world.
As Yusuke forged bonds with new allies like demons Hiei
God,
and Kurama,
seeing
as well as
that
his old
midway
pal
point
Kuwabara,
title card
he
bit
found himself
is
facing
so-
opponents he couldn't
so nostalgic
beat,
for me.
such as the monstrous Toguro, who
Toguro.
could vaporize weaker demons.
God,
and
I
crush
swear, I
their
wish we had a
souls
villain
with
as good as
sheer
Toguro
aura.
since
But
then.
Yusuke needed
Honestly,
to
I feel like
survive and
Sensui is
protect
so
his loved
overhyped as a
ones.
villain. I did not
he
enjoy
had
him
no
very
choice
much.
But to rank up, even if it meant absorbing the power of a small star. Thanks, Genkai.
Oh shoot! Okay. They brought the small star. Okay, I'm gonna repeat this. This is really important. If they give him this scaling, Yusuke might get winked into this fight really well.
To survive and protect his loved ones. So he had no choice but to rank up, even if it meant absorbing the power of a small star. Thanks, Genkai.
Our sun has an average luminosity of 380 septillion watts, or joules per second. Small stars like red dwarfs output about 1/10,000th of that. So this spirit orb's energy per second would equal about 9 million megatons of TNT.
Enough to send Toguro to the grave.
Even after pushing past his own limits, Yusuke would still need more power to face S-class threats like Sensui. A past
Small star is
sports
insane.
detective gone
And remember,
bad,
this is when
and
they're
a
struggling
great
with B
measuring stick for
classes,
what
right?
top-tier demons are capable of.
Yusuke is
Sensui was so
battling
young, he couldn't even use
S
all his power
classes
in
by the
human
end of the
world
series.
without
He
threatening
loses
bring
to
down the
Yomi,
whole
but
thing.
he at least brought it really
Destroying the
close.
whole goddamn planet to kicking an anthill.
According
Okay,
to Genkai, Yusuke could destroy the planet too.
Damn, okay, they bring up everything I brought up,
And
dude.
even
Alright,
A-class
okay, I
threats
respect
like
that.
King
They
Enma
did
have
their
shaken
research.
both the demon and human worlds.
That anima guy is strong
That's
as
fair.
balls. In the past, he fought the Netherworld King Yakumo, who could
Oh, the
eradicate
freaking
the
movie
entire
dude, okay.
human world and remake the Netherworld.
Yeah,
Yusuke's powers surpassed
Yusuke pwned
both
him
of
when he was like
them,
A
to the
class
point
or
where he
something. though.
overloaded Yakumo with his own energy. And do keep in mind, Yusuke was still only A class at the time.
Okay, so we're gonna use that as well.
S-classes like Sensui,
I don't know.
whose
Yusuke might
energy
actually do
was
some
10
stuff here
times
now.
superior.
That's kind of
But
exciting.
not for
Okay,
long,
they're really
sucker.
bringing
It
everything for
turns
Yusuke.
out Yusuke
Holy
was
crap.
a demon himself.
Yeah, he's a
Literally.
Masaku.
Yusuke is the descendant of an ancient and incredibly
Nabs
powerful
loves this
being,
one moment from
of
the anime where they talk about
strongest in
the
existence.
atavism of the Masaku. He likes
Demon
referencing
man.
that bit.
With his
It's
bazooka mark,
iconic.
Yusuke can channel Raizen's spirit for a huge power boost. And a
God, I should've
massive
gotten to see more
thirst
from
for
Raizen. He
murder
was
boost.
so
This was
badass.
his first taste of a dangerous new type of spirit energy, Yoki.
A form of energy used by demons. Like normal Reiki, it can be amplified by intense emotions. Unlike normal Reiki, its use creates a pleasurable feeling, feeding into the user's
See,
rage and
this is one
bloodlust,
thing that's worth
the
noting.
feral animal within.
The
So
Yusuke is
upgraded
such
his
a
spirit gun
vicious
to a
fighter,
demon gun.
right?
It's the same
Ichigo
thing,
is a lot
but
more
red.
tamed for the
it's
most
strong
part,
enough to
unless he
last
like goes out of
century past
control.
The horizon, putting Yusuke's power
That
further in
it's going to be a
and making him a
disadvantage.
prime
And
candidate
notably,
to
Shiro
rule the
slash
demon
Zangetsu, right?
world.
Like he
But
mentions
as
at
he
one
was
point about the
thrust
king of the
into a
horse
tournament
analogy, and that
vying
he
for
needs
throne,
the instincts,
Yusuke
the sheer
began to
fighting
wonder
instinct to
if all this
overcome.
power was what he really
So,
wanted.
you know, it's really important,
From
that
I'll
ferocity
kick
in the
your
Bleach
ass,
universe,
Yusuke
but that is a
Urameshi.
cutting edge.
Nah,
And
we
Yusuke
can
should
worry
have that
about
to his
that
advantage.
later. There's a tournament to win. Which one of you, girl, baby, or grandparents is
The
first?
tides can turn
Even
anymore.
then, as
Yeah, because
Yusuke
again,
took on the
Yahabak
demon
scaling
King
could
Yomi in
state
an
that
epic
like
final
small star
battle,
is
he
just
was
like
still
light work,
growing. He had
depending.
become far stronger than before,
Because
even
it depends how you
achieving
interpret the
a unique version
microcosms, right?
of the Mozoku form separate from Raizen's
Mozo-
influence.
And a brand spanking new
Hearing it
form of
pronounced like
power.
that is
Kinda
painful
like
to me.
Sensui's secret energy,
the
but
Masaku,
even
the
better.
frick?
It's so unprecedented. It doesn't even have a name, but it's
called
golden glowy.
it's called
Strong enough
divine
to
energy,
clash with
dude.
Yomi, creating an explosion that split the heavens above and decimated the Okunin tree below, pushing the Demon King himself.
Yeah, and on top
to
of
his
that,
absolute
The thing that really
limits.
gets me, Daniel, about that is that a form of energy that takes 49 years to master, they said, but they split 7 years among the 7 personalities. That doesn't work that way. That makes no effing sense. It was such a dumb reasoning for why Sensei was
It
capable
was
of that.
always Yusuke's connections with others that motivated him above all else. And it was in those connections that he found his happy ending.
Like, here's the thing. Everything they're talking about Yusuke here is about right. You know, this is about where Yusuke's at.
The human world,
but
and the spirit detective will beat your stupid ass.
Okay, so that, before they get into fight here, it's time for me to throw a poll on who you guys think is going to win. They're pushing Yusuke really hard. I want Yusuke to win. I think, though, they're going to make Ichigo win it. I think Ichigo, there's a little bit of a cadence about them where they're really going all out on Yusuke, but Ichigo is a bit more vague, and they're going to upscale him at the end here. Who do you think will win? Not who do you want to win. It's who do you think will win? That's the key here. Are we thinking it's going to be Ichigo, or are we thinking it's going to be Yusuke? Because admittedly, they put out for Yusuke, dude. They really put out. They brought up the star bit. They accurately represented the different ranks. They brought up movie stuff. They brought up everything into the canon of it. You can't vote? Oh, fair enough. Yeah, like, I want Yusuke to win, dude. Yu Yu Hakusho is one of my all-times, like, all the way, left and right, up and down. Yu Yu Hakusho is a top 5 anime for me to the end of time. The dub, anyway. But holy crap, man. I just can't see it. Like, I can, but no. It's gotta be Ichigo, right? Because the thing is that I feel like even though Yusuke has a lot of power and he's got strong techniques, there's still a couple of things that is really unfortunate here. One, Ichigo should have vastly superior stamina. Think about the different energy sources. And something that I didn't even bring up necessarily, but they brought up briefly, and I want to elaborate on it more because, you know, we're talking about this a lot, right? Remember when for all those of you guys who watched the series, right? Do y'all remember when he trained for Dangai? He was basically battling nonstop, and you can tell he was battling nonstop because he was incurring real damage while he was in that meditative state, right? So he was more or less in a constant state of battle for so long, dude. That is insane stamina. Yusuke, while having very good stamina, of course, right, among the top in the verse, he's very tenacious, is not nearly at that level. He's shown nothing like that. And for point in fact, he's more of a burst fighter by nature anyway. He blows a lot of, like, energy on, like, very specific killer moves, you know? So he's not going to last that long. And because that's, like, does he have the destructive power to, like, break past anything Ichigo does? And I don't think he does. If you consider true Bankai that, like, take out Yabak, it's like, what could Yusuke do to survive that? I honestly think that is, like, that has an AP that exceeds anything Yusuke has in his arsenal, and not to mention just his raw defensive ability, right? It just feels like there's nothing you could do there. There's some basics as well here that, like, can go in Ichigo's favor, is, like, not to mention, right? Because one thing that's interesting about Ichigo here is that Ichigo has, like, other avatars of Zanpakuto inside him that can kind of, like, give him epiphanies and sort of, like, encourage him and guide him, right? Yusuke doesn't really have that going for him. And even one of Yusuke's main power-ups at the end of the series, Yomi, is very dubious because he kind of just, like, pops that out of nowhere, so we don't know anything about it. So yeah, it looks like the polls here agree. Folks are mostly agreeing that it's going to be Ichigo that's winning. I have to agree. I'm 07 Yusuke, but it's like I'll root for him, but Ichigo, I think, logically wins this. Let's go.
Long has its return been foretold, but now
are they going ad here?
It is reborn.
The original.
All right, let's watch it, guys.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a
death battle. Come on, prove me wrong, Yusuke. Prove me wrong, Yusuke, my goat. Come on, my goat never tires. My king never quits.
That's a demon. That's a hollow.
No doubt about it.
You see, like, Ryzen's silhouette in the background. It's cool, that. All right, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, it's kind of funny to see Yusuke just punching away Zangetsu, but what else is he gonna do, right? He doesn't have a weapon other than his fist and, like, his ray gun and stuff. Damn, dropped the swords already, huh? You're not fist fighting, Yusuke. Pick back up your Zanpakuto, dog. Ooh, clever. Not the nuts. So Son of a bitch, that's funny as frick.
Hollow.
Yeah, you can. God, you can hear VAs. Oh, well, there goes your Menos Grande.
Shop change.
I'd agree that Menos Grande is nothing for Yusuke. Ooh.
What a baby!
Oh, they're gonna run into the cleaner here, I bet.
Nah.
Power enough. Oh, red energy. That means he's trying to tap into his demon energy. That's weird. Okay. I think EV blue too because it's his demon energy. But he hasn't shown Masaku traits at all.
2 at once? Damn, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah. Easy enough, right? Again, they're really relative.
Into the Yusuke. Let's devour him together.
Oh shoot, he's popping Masaku already.
Hell no!
Yeah, they're
jackass! You just told me back!
yeah, okay. Yusuke's already having to pop bigger guns. Oh shoot, they just did an Ukiara reference there. That's an Ukiara reference, that's cool. Oh. Well, they destroyed the divide between the worlds there.
This one's a piece of work. Need a hand, partner?
Let's do it. Like old times.
On time!
Boost. Oh, demon. Interesting. Honestly, they kind of need that to not blow up the planet. Because, yeah, Demon World can withstand a fight like this.
Is that the best you can do?
Oh.
I can go even faster if you'd like.
Well, now there's the, now we've got a reference to Byakuya's fight. That's cool. Oh, they're doing a lot of Bleach fight
I'll kill you
references.
even if it kills me!
I'll kill you if it kills me. Let's go.
Better do the same!
You see, this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, Yusuke's a burst fighter. He's gonna lay out his cards. Oh, big move. Ground rank gets got. Wait a minute, has Yusuke shown divine energy yet? Hold up, maybe. Come on! Oh! Did I get him?
Break him.
Come on, get back up, get back up!
See you on the other side.
Oh!
You, think
Oh,
you freaking flyer
no,
miles?
There's a lot coming here, so
Yusuke!
let's break
He
this
was
down
so
into 4
close,
chapters,
too!
starting
I
with
believed in my king!
Yusuke could see Ichigo no problem.
God, he was so
and
close, they
resist
didn't really give him the
auras
divine
like
skill.
Taguros that are similar to Reiatsu, so Ichigo couldn't cheese a win right away.
Otherwise, Yusuke was outmatched. Sure, the Spirit Gun could potentially match the Getsuga Tensho, and he had stat-boosting forms like the Mizoku.
Oh, what's going on here? Hold up. Seems to be apologies.
Yusuke
Seems
could
like there's
see
some dips
Ichigo
here.
no
Let's
problem
go back a bit.
And resist auras like Taguros that are similar to Reiatsu, so Ichigo couldn't cheese a win right away.
Otherwise, Yusuke was outmatched. Sure, the Spirit Gun could potentially match the Getsuga Tensho, and he had stat-boosting forms like the Mizoku. Ichigo,
Yeah.
however, had more varied powers, a better healing factor, greater stamina given his months of Dangai training.
And all those
Yep.
swords.
That
He
stamina
had
really
way
comes
more
in there.
abilities
That
to
is
play
a
with.
that is a
Likewise,
core
speed
weakness of
was a
Yusuke's
fairly
fighting
easy
style.
call. Yusuke could react to lightning early on, and obviously got much faster over time.
Yeah, and
Looking at
lightning
this
was a
blast
scaling
from his
for,
clash with Yomi,
it's a
it
Soul
erupted
Society
upwards
arc
at
as well.
57% the speed of light.
But Ichigo was faster than light from the start, and he's gotten faster too. He couldn't even see Byakuya at first, but blitzed him in the rematch. Plus, he's got tons of training and power-ups since then.
Yeah,
The
Australian light
full
is really
shockwave,
important
for
to note.
example, expanded across the realms at thousands of times light speed, and Ichigo reacted to attacks from Soul King Yuhabak that utilized the same power. So, Ichigo takes speed. But Yusuke's fought plenty of foes faster and more varied than him, so it's extremely important to examine their tactics and ability to adapt
Yeah,
mid-fight.
Yusuke should win
Yes,
this
it's
one, right?
kinda
At least, like
both
he's got like
things.
more
Ichigo
clever
is styled
technique
on
going
guys
on.
with centuries of training and has over a decade of experience as a Shinigami. He's pretty good at figuring out new weapons and styles.
Meanwhile, Yusuke was flexible and quick to adapt, mixing cleverness with exceptional hand-to-hand. He's good enough to match Kabano, who mastered every martial art. Ichigo's decent at hand-to-hand, but
early
it's not his
in that
go-to in the
series,
same
too.
way.
So,
Yep.
both had their strong suits, with advantages on each side. It's fair to call this one a draw.
Leaving only the biggest winning factor, which could have superseded all other advantages: power.
Between Sensui, Genkai, and Enma, Yusuke could definitely destroy the planet. Examining his sky-splitting clash with Yomi and measuring its
This was
scale,
something that
that's
they
about
used to scale
4
DA, which is
quadrillion
interesting.
megatons of TNT.
Yeah, they brought
which
that
is
back.
crazy.
Similarly, mid-series Ichigo could shake Huecomundo, tear through hell, and block attacks that could destroy the Soul Society.
Yeah, movie
But at
canon
his
actually
peak,
really helps
he
Ichigo
beat
because of the
Hyuga,
hell
who could
feat.
destroy several realms, which is far more impressive than just one.
Yeah,
To be
but
fair,
like,
Yusuke
it's
also
not-
beat Yakumo, who could threaten 2 realms at the same time.
Yeah,
Pretty
and
close
that's
to
more-
Yugioh threatening 3.
And Yusuke far surpassed Yakumo afterward. The gap between
Right,
him
and on
Sensui
top of
alone
that, it
was
feels
10
like it's not as
times.
dubious. Like, Yu Yu
there could
Hakusho's
be an
very
argument for
direct
Yusuke's
about that
power
kind of
surpassing
scaling.
Ichigo if
You know?
3 realms was truly Ichigo's limit.
Fortunately for Ichigo, it's not. Yhwach was also gonna destroy the Garganta, which has at least 29 pocket dimensions inside it.
Each containing at least a planet and star, much larger than Yusuke's planet-sized
Oh.
worlds. Plus, Ichigo matched Hyuga in True Shikai, without his additional boost from Half Hollow and True Bankai.
As always with Death Battle, there's arguments either way, but the way we see it,
Yeah, I
even
wouldn't have
generous with
argued for
Yusuke's
that, but
power
since
and
they brought that in,
conservative
yeah,
with
it's
Ichigo's,
pretty
the
clear.
gap was just too big.
God.
Ichigo, the final
Alright, I
one.
respect
Sorry
it, but
if things
sheesh,
got
man.
messy, but
There was a
that's
version
how
of this fight where
Ichigo
Yusuke could
The winner
have taken
is
that.
Ichigo
I
Kurosaki.
believe in that.
Now,
Good
time
fight though,
on
good
Death
fight.
Battle.
Now, someone mentioned in the beginning this is apparently Metal Sonic and Cell, right? Oh, yeah, I know. 29 is crazy worked up. I didn't even hear about that scaling, I'm not gonna lie. That was news to me.
Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
That was kind of news to me, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, how we feel about the death battle, guys? I'm not gonna lie. Even though my goat lost, right? I thought it was a pretty well done death battle. The scaling on this one is always going to be a little bit dubious because statements and interpretation is going to always be super shaky on these like very long running kind of shonens. Now, of course, Yu Yu Hakusho, right, didn't run on nearly as long as Bleach. Yu Yu Hakusho's original runtime was 112 episodes, if I recall correctly. That's not a lot of time compared to Bleach. But that also meant that Yu Yu Hakusho scaling was therefore a lot more direct and obvious. So Bleach is where things really go up and down, and they decided we'll give everything to both fighters, and that's where Ichigo comes on ahead, right? But I can see if they like had placed some sort of limits here, like certain movie canons, and also maybe some like limits on interpretation and how you like take databook guide. There was a version of this where Ichigo like may have lost it, but it seems reasonable when you consider that they wanted to give everyone everything that was reasonably stated or implied. I missed Death Battle, but I'm here for comic. Yeah, fair enough. Fair fight, and it was great. Yeah, it was fair. I mean, it was a good matchup. I think the music, the voice acting, the references in it is really good. Like, they know how to put on a show and bring, like, justice to these characters, right? They put a lot of Bleach references. Yusuke fought like Yusuke and sounded like Yusuke. Nut shots is really funny. Going for like the Ura blitz to try and break Zangetsu is very peak Yusuke as well. Bouncing off one of his ray gun off of like the Zanpakuto to hit in the back was another really good moment. So they do that very well, right? Like win or lose, the fight is good. I think it's a good quality fight. The only thing it's missing is that it's using like pixelated like sprites and whatnot. So it's not their highest quality animation for the fight, which is a fairly high ticket fight. So I'm a little surprised they didn't pull out the stops for that, but you know, maybe they're trying to pace themselves out for some more important fights, because not everything animation wise has to be on the level of Ash versus Yugi. That was next level, right? So overall, yeah, I'd probably give this about like a 9.5 out of 10. This was one of their best death battles. Death battle in general has definitely been on the up and up lately, so I'm really happy to see their revival going so well. They've done justice there. Yeah, that's good death battle. The vocals fair enough. All right, now we've done that. Let's go ahead and switch gears a little bit. I'm going to get some OST going on here, and we're going to start reading the Divines manga. So for those of you who are here for just the death battle, this is where we're going to stop that for the day. So if you want to dip out now, then thanks for coming on by. But if you want to stick around to do some Divines reading, or if you were waiting for Divines reading, then this is the moment for that. So let's go ahead and switch on over. All right, so this is called Parallactic Awakening. So this should be following Kagetsu as the main character with I forget her name, but it's Nao's sister, who's apparently supposed to be like our main like female lead, our deuteragonist maybe even. So this is this is going to be a bit of an interesting read. I've heard some stuff about this manga already, so I'm not going to be like completely fresh on it, but at the same time, I haven't read it yet. So let's go ahead and get some reading on Suga. Yeah, that was her name. Okay. On that night with a full moon, Vanguard brought us together. That's when it all began. The card fight to protect everyday lives. And then Vase is just popping up right there. Vase looks a bit different in the manga. He has like a bit more of a white color palette on him. It's kind of cool looking. Then you've got the big, yeah, there's Suga right there. You've got the big promo art of it, which is actually on the thumbnail of this entire stream right now. All right, Gazorum's de Taki. I lost again. Is this a reference to the fight they had in the anime, or is this just them basically repeating history? I'll beat the crap out of you next time, just you wait. Yeah, right. You're 100 years too early for that. Kagetsu, bro. Bro just knows he's him. Oh, God. Are you planning on staying here for a bit longer? Yeah, I've got some stuff to do. Take good care of that Mythish card, yeah? This card you gave me, is there something special about it? You'll see in due time. Anyway, I have to be somewhere, so I'll see you later. Let me guess. The day with Akina? No! Oh god, Aki. Aki now shipping, even in the manga. We cannot escape it, chat. It is all encompassing. So this right here, this Mythish is interesting because we apparently know the name of it now. It's called Dragunia. The Mythish Unparalleled Dragunia. So we don't know what it's going to do. With any hope, it is a lot more relevant compared to the Mythishes that we got in the past so far. I am, admittedly, I'm not going to doom post about this, right? Because there's always time for them to kind of like tick up. And maybe we just had an over-exacerbated like interpretation of how good a Mythish is supposed to be. But the Mythish of Eternity, and especially the Mythish of Ever-Changing, were disappointing. Mythish of Eternity, its power scaling is already inferior to another grade 2 that releases alongside it in the same first reveal set. That's very weird. Then, the Mythish of Ever-Changing, why is she only relevant for the Divine Skill turn? That is really unfortunate. The only Mythish that is relevant and strong, it feels like, is Rifistor. We haven't surpassed Rifistor. And of course, this is relevant relative to the non-Vaseruk Mythishes. If you include Vaseruk Mythishes, then that's a whole different ballpark because those Mythishes are all really good because they're the cornerstone. They make up the collective of their deck, so they have to be good. But we haven't done anything for Rifistor yet. And like, I hope that Dragunia is on Riffy level. Yeah, I agree, Gunmetal. I want that to be the case. Carnival was at least pretty good because Carnival is an interesting case, right? Because, okay, yeah, Luke's bringing it up as well. Carnival is a Varpula, right? Now, that means that it's good. However, there's another thing I want to mention. Even though it's good, because it sort of streamlines the grade 3 style of Dragil without needing the grade 4, and that is good, that is relevant, and the energy charge cannot be understated. So it is a good card. But there's two things about this. Like, Carnival was revealed before either of these other Mythishes, which is why I'm saying there's kind of a downhill, like, there's a downhill flow right now, right? We're kind of crashing a bit in Mythish quality. Carnival, also, it's not really treading new ground. It's doing a lot of the same. The only main benefit of it that's unique is the energy charge. But you look at Rifistor. Rifistor actually adds a really strong win condition to Reziel. It is a true blue companion unit that you use as a core part of your winning image. It is interesting, it is unique, and it is, like, indispensable. Carnival isn't really on that level. So even though it's a good Mythish, that is fair, it's not on that level, so we're just going down. Right? Rifistor was just a lot better. And it's kind of funny because people really ripped on Rifistor for being a bit boring at first, but it's sort of like the Full Blast versus Exist thing where it's like, you know, we kind of had it better than we realized. Wish it could always go worse, right? So let's go ahead and continue reading. But I just want to bring that up, that I hope Dragunia kind of reverses the trend we have going here, and we can at least like have a high note with this one. I'm going to visit my family for the first time in a while, although I'm feeling kind of awkward about it. This is where Suga pops in. I see. Well, good luck. Thanks. See ya. It's been a while since you've been back in Kaga, so just relax and enjoy your stay. Yeah, he's gonna be swept up in the Mythish bit, though, so that's gonna be unfortunate. Kage! It's been ages. You're getting back into the pro scene, right? Come on, boss. You're putting too much pressure on me. Here you go. It's on the house. I'll always be here cooking up some taiyaki, so feel free to stop by whenever you feel like having some. Sure thing, boss. I appreciate it. This moon sure is pretty today. The moon shall haunt you. This town is the spitting image of peace, just like always. Don't you think so too? Indeed, but don't let your guard down. I know. Good. Those chosen by the trial of the moon have been entrusted with Mythish cards. I did exactly as you said. Much appreciated. I still can't quite believe it. A calamity that will twist the laws of the world itself? This calamity is changing into something completely unknown. We can't predict what will happen. Aren't you overthinking it? This panel's kind of interesting because it means that, Suga hasn't been chosen yet. The others have, though. I mean, just look at how quiet it is right now. Oh, this frame right here gets, brought up in, the Discord sometimes. People love this frame of him just getting shook randomly. It's funny. What did I miss? You missed the death battle, Luis, and we're starting on the manga. We only read a few panels, so we haven't really missed hardly anything. What the? An earthquake? Ah, yes, the phallic object that denotes the new plot change. Awesome. What is that thing? That's what she said. The moon's red? Don't tell me this is what you were talking about. The Crimson Moon. There's no doubt about it. The fog is carrying a distinctive power. The calamity of the Crimson Moon has finally manifested. Seriously, wait! Face Rug! You're floating! And you have a face? Now that the calamity has become a reality, I have no choice but to reach out from Crane directly intervene with matters of Earth. I'll be borrowing this terminal. So, what are we gonna do now? This is what we did all that preparation for, right? First, we must gather information. There's still much we do not know. The Crimson Moon is a lunar curse that affects even living beings. Tomorrow, we should investigate to see if there are any changes to the people in town. Got it. Let's head out tomorrow morning then. How can you just sleep after that, dude? Oh wow, well, the end of the world's probably happening here. I gotta start really locking in. Anyway, time for bed. That's so weird to me. You'd think he'd be running out all late last night, but I guess Kagetsu's just too chill for that, right, guys? He doesn't get the nerves. He does what he must. Other than that, the tower, nothing really seems out of the ordinary. Wait. What's going on? This is supposed to be the boss's taiyaki stand. Hey, boss, what's with the switch up? Welcome. Oh, a new face. Are you sightseeing? You're kidding, right? Wasn't this the taiyaki stand? I don't know about taiyaki, but I've been making these forever. What a strange customer you are. After that, I made my way around the shopping district, but it turned out not a single person remembered me. What the heck is happening? Are Now and the others okay? Now! Oh man, am I glad to see you. I was so worried about you. Listen, there's something I need to tell. Sorry, but have we met before? Sheesh, okay. So she hasn't awakened yet. I think Kagetsu hasn't learned yet that these mythicists need to awaken them. No way. Even Now doesn't remember me? Now, sorry for the wait. Sugu, don't just grab onto me out of nowhere like that. It's dangerous. Come on. No, sheesh. Sugu seems so happy here, so it turns out the moody visage that we saw at the promo art is gonna pop up here because she probably prefers life in the Phantom, but she's gonna be dragged into Verity. This is interesting. I don't think she's a Mythish fighter, no, so I don't know this happens. Who's this? A friend of yours? Well, actually, can't remember. Hold on, is he hitting on you? I'm not letting you have my big sister. What? Wait, no, it's not like that. It's just, you happen to look like someone I know. But I guess I got the wrong person. Sorry. Wait, and her name's Now? What a coincidence. My name's Now too. Oh, yeah? I know. That truly is a huge coincidence. Obviously, Sugu's not feeling it. Come on now, let's go. Okay, we gotta go. See ya. Yeah, later. And now, presenting to you the Moon Man's second Crash Out arc. Now then, it's been a week since we've begun investigating the town. Yeah. Are you alright? Well, I'd be lying if I said it hasn't been getting to me. Forgive me, I've dragged you into my duty. Don't worry about it, Vaserug. At this point, this is just as much my fight as is yours. Yeah, someone had to do it, you know? At the end of the day, if no one did it, then we'd be screwed. Well, kind of. Even those dear to me will get caught up in this calamity. I don't want to see Kanami suffer even more. Ooh, it's true. That's why. I will fight. Alright, Vaserug, let's sort out the situation. You have my thanks, Kagetsu. After investigating the town, I have a good idea of what's occurring. Due to the effects of the Crimson Moon's magical energy, a world known as Phantasma has been created. As you saw, the people here have false memories. Their personalities have changed due to living a different life in their original world. The moment that fog enveloped us, we became trapped within Phantasma. That sounds pretty damn bad, man. There's no need to worry, however. We still have a way to fight back. You're talking about these Mythish cards, right? Indeed. You've got 3 of them. Bro's just holding 3 of a kind here. The Mythish are essentially antibodies against the Crimson Moon virus. The lunar crest they bear is proof of their power. Antibody is a cool way of putting it, considering that Vaserug Lore is a doctor, so that seems pretty fitting for him to say it like that. That is why you were unaffected, and also why your existence was erased from everyone's memories by the world's power to correct any inconveniences. But hold on, I gave Now a Mythish card, but she's still... Not all Mythish awaken at the same time. You had me, but the same cannot be said for the others. Okay, so they're all chilling right now. Akina and Kanami are just doing their thing. Damn, Mikoto-chan looking fine as hell there. Holy crap. I wonder how she's different in the... this is kind of interesting, right? Because we kind of get... We probably get to see a little bit insight on how all the Mythish fighters are, like, in the Phantom reality before they actually have Mythishes awaken them. So we might get to see some differences that we wouldn't otherwise in the anime, because by the time the anime, they're already converted over. But eventually, all the Mythish will awaken. About a month, in fact. And their 5 owners will regain their original personalities. That is when our counterattack can truly... There's no need to wait that long. It's the fog that created this world. And here comes Gabriel, he is popping in aura. The sheerest aura of them all, dude. Oh, man. It's, how do we feel about his design, by the way? I don't think I really asked that too much. I kind of like his design, even with the whole open toe claw bit. Like, he's kind of cool looking. He's definitely got a lot of like traces of his original Cosmo Dragon design, but in like a much darker humanoid form. So if someone was to ask you, make Abuelius but human and edgy, this is about what you would get, right? I feel like. Let me change the music here real quick, because that seemed pretty good to me, you know. But I guess it's just kind of I guess it kind of just depends on how you look at it overall. Let's see. Let me go up here. Let me go up here instead. Kagetsu only knows Gapuelius is this. Does Kagetsu not? He never knew the wheel one? But wait, wouldn't he know? Well, I mean, he's never met Gapuelius personally, but I thought he would have at least recognized Gapuelius, because I thought there was a part where Gapuelius was either like called or like damage checked or something in the deluxe arc. I just don't know when. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I still think they didn't need Ruka and could have just worked Kurumi into that role. Crashing out because the people you want to fight died seem a lot more compelling than they're just up and leaving. Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like Ruka is a very wasted character. She's very random. I mean, it even comes down to the fact that they just replaced a Stoicheia waifu with 2 Stoicheia waifus. What the frick? What was the point then? Why did Ruka need to be here? You kind of retconned the lore of Blackout for this character, and then you do hardly anything with her. She fights 3 fights and then kind of like bows out after that. And Divines is on the verge of ending, so WTF? Like, the only way this could kind of, like, roll back, in my opinion, is if you were to make her, like, a part of either the manga or, like, the anime at some point, like a Phantom Fight or whatever. But I don't see that happening. So, what the frick? What was the point? I mean, the actual character? Oh, yeah, he's never met him before. Only got during his final drive check against Kagetsu. Yeah, so he did see the card, he just never met the actual character behind the card, right? Who are you? My name is Gapuelius, the ruler of Phantasma. What? You just show up out of nowhere and now you're calling yourself the ruler of this world? Indeed. I came to challenge those of you who hold the Mythish cards to a game. A game. Our Parallactic against your Verity. A game with both worlds at stake. The Parallactic Clash. I hold the Mirage card. A card that contains the Crimson Moon's magical energy that supports Phantasma. One cannot return Phantasma to normal without this card. The rules are simple. Your conditions for victory are to defeat all the Phantom Fighters and reach the top floor of the Mirage Tower to obtain the Mirage card. Phantom Fighters, they are warriors who protect this world. Unless you defeat them and take down the barrier they defend, the road to the Mirage card will not be opened. The silhouettes kind of imply a few characters, I'm not gonna lie. I can recognize a couple of them already. What's your goal? As I've said, this is a game with both worlds at stake. From our perspective, the Mythish are a threat to Phantasma. If we can defeat you, then that threat will be dispelled. So you've challenged us to a fair fight to get rid of us. Fair, you say? The Phantom Fighters consist of many, but as of right now, there is but one Mythish fighter. You're in this fight alone. Don't worry. I trust the fighters we picked. They'll awaken without fail. That is decided. Oh, but you know, you might regret challenging us with Vanguard. I once sat at the top of the world with it. Oh, shoot, bro. Hard-ass line. Let's effing go. Gargantu's got nothing. Dude, and to think that the homie here might just jump like Gab Willis in the anime. I don't want him to jump, bro. He's so cool here. He is just chill like that, man. Like, I like Kagetsu's character when he gets, like, intense, right? Because it feels, like, genuinely shocking and interesting to see him get like that, because he's usually got the just a guy persona, but then suddenly homie's like, oh, by the way, I'm about as fierce as they come, let me show you a bit of that on God. Like, that's pretty cool. Kyoma and Yuna, I think, were the others. I feel like one of them might actually be Kurumi there. Let me look. This one right here, because of the way the silhouette looks, I think that's like her spiraling braid. That might be Kurumi. I admire your confidence. May we meet again, if fate seems as so. The writers do deem it so, I would imagine. I received a message. What is this message for? Hold on a second. Okay. I'll respond to that in a bit. Kagetsu, Yakumo. Understood. Taizo. Your dream will stay safe, for I, Kyoma Kurosaki, Ichigo Kurosaki, swear to protect it. Now then, I guess I can start looking for everyone. Would calling or messaging them even work, though? I suppose I could meet up with them directly, but I only know where Akina's school and Kanami's house are. What the? A helicopter? So you're the so-called Mythish fighter? Kyoma Kurosaki. The Phantom Fighters have already begun showing themselves. I'm a busy man. I'd like to get this over with and move on to my next job as soon as possible. So with that said, take out your deck. Pause. No room for discussion, huh? Well, that does make things quick. Oh, and obviously the matchup Brinks here, which, I mean, what else would the matchup be? So go figure. Bleaches his hair orange. He's a Soul Reaper. Substitute Soul Reaper. He's a substitute Phantom Fighter, Chad. The Parallactic Clash has been established. Oh? So that's how this works. Kyoma Kurosaki, Kagetsu Yakumo. Raise your cards and cry out to the call of battle. The Parallactic or Variable? Divines. The time has come. Now begins a battle with the world at stake. Stand up, Vanguard. Envoy of the Moon Repsold, Liebrecht, Gethuro Dragon. Brand game. Kyoma Kurosaki. I'm pretty sure he was a Dragon Empire user. What's wrong? It's nothing. Ride. Liebrecht, Vakatin Vefe Dragon. And then I set Librette, Revoy. A product card. Ooh, product card. That's a cool reference to Velstra. Hey, that's really clever. That definitely justifies this being Brandgate specifically. I like that. Heck yeah, dude. He's pulling his deck out chart and just jump out of like the cop of the cam there. That's funny. A product. I see. I guess pretty much every single thing was overridden. I end my turn. Ride. Follow the moon Fresnel. I set the moon gate. Giro. Attack. Kiyoma takes damage. Ride. And then, okay, so he doesn't say the name there. I play an order card. Crimson Moonlight. A Crimson Moon card? With its skill, I set Librecte, Weberis, and I operate it. Calling it as a unit. Oh, what the? Okay, so I don't think they're explaining that to it, because I don't think the moon can set a product card, right? So I'm guessing there's either some wording on the product card here, or he's just kind of like speedrunning through his turn a little bit. So I don't quite understand what went on with that one. It's a little weird. I want Phantom out now. It's so cool, isn't it, Maz? Holy crap. That is clever, especially because the lore also like backs that up, right? Because he uses Blitz Company weapons as a Dragon Empire unit, so why not just be a little bit more direct as a Brandgate unit and just use the product cards themselves, right? It just makes so much sense. It's cool. Attack. No guard, but I'll put a stop to that product's attack. I know about you, Kiyoma Kurosaki. You're a substitute Phantom Fighter. You're a pro fighter known as Kyokura Anchor Bolt's hidden ace. And the usage of products was a tactic of your team leader Taizo Kirakura, something he excelled with. That's only how it was in the original world. Oh, Kiyoma's up to 3 damage. Damn, he's getting rushed down, it looks like. You know about how you were in the original world? That's right. Us Phantom Fighters are aware that this world is parallactic, and we have dreams of who we were in the original world. That sounds pretty rough. Everyone feels differently about them. For me, my determination to protect this world only grew stronger upon learning about the original world. I know about you too, Kagetsu Yakumo. As an undefeated pro, the level of your feats was practically unheard of. But one day, you suddenly step off the stage, becoming but a Phantom Fighter. But with a P, so it's different. This parallactic clash, we may appear to hold the upper hand due to our numbers, but I don't believe that's the case. Kagetsu Yakumo, everything rides on whether or not we can defeat you. Well, I'm flattered. However, I still have no intention of losing. I went out of my way to challenge you as soon as I could because I'm fully aware of your capabilities. I'll take this opportunity to take you out while I still can, before you learn of this world and this card. And then he just goes, what's with that card? I will do anything it takes to emerge victorious in this world. Bear witness to what has been reshaped by the Parallactic. My avatar! Hey, gang gang! My determination shall lay the past that's meant to be. Ride, Libre Commander. Equilibre Fantôme. Phantom. And that's the end of that chapter. Alright, we're off to a great start here. Good setup, good characterization. So this manga could go for a hot minute. They really could. It feels like I can understand what they're going to kind of go through here, right? Kagetsu gets his introductory fire out of the way. He beats Kiyoma, because otherwise how would the plot go, right? So he beats Kiyoma, and then they've got like other villains, but then I'm assuming the formula from here on out will be, as he defeats the Phantom Fighters, he also gets Mythish Fighters Awakening, and then those Mythish Fighters will have fights against other Phantom Fighters. That'll be kind of cool. A Phantom skill next chapter, almost certainly. This is just like the first half of what appears to be a 2-parter fight. So far, really happy about that. Hey, look, Cray Adventure is over there. That's cool. Cray Adventure, for people who don't know, Cray Adventure is the guy who translates a lot of the lore chapters for Vanguard. So it's cool to see him actually do the raw translations for this manga. We're in good hands with him there, so really happy to see that. Next chapter comes this Friday. Okay, that's good. Maybe be able to get back on that, do it chapter to chapter. No promises there, but that seems like it could be a potentially good plan there. What do we think about the chapter overall? I'm gonna go ahead and post a poll here for that as well. Let's see here. How did you like this chapter? We're gonna go 10 out of 10. We'll go 8 out of 10. We'll go 6 out of 10. And then we'll go oof. Because there's a lot of numbers that can go below 6 out of 10 that just all encompasses not good. Curious what people feel about this. Alright, it seems like so far votes are basically split between just a perfect 10 out of 10, but a really high 8 out of 10. Ooh, someone actually said 6 out of 10, okay. Comes out every 2 weeks. Okay, so we're gonna be waiting for this one for a minute. So the strategy here could go a couple of different ways for these kind of streams, right? One strategy would be to try and like tackle them as they come out one at a time, and then probably pair it up with something else to do, because obviously this is only going to take like 20 minutes at most, right? I'd say. So we wouldn't need to do these for very long. So they wouldn't make for full streams. Instead, it is possible to be able to do them as a part of something else, or wait until they come out in like bulk and like do like bulk readings, right? But I feel like people wouldn't want to wait that long, right? They'd rather try and do them a bit sequentially, one at a time, but you know, at least we can have something else to fill in the space in a stream. So what do you guys think? Do you think we should wait a few chapters and then like read them like bulks at a time, or just like do them as they come out? You can read the manga alongside the anime reactions. Could be. Admittedly, though, those would slow down the anime reactions a bit, like in terms of their upload speed, and also anime reactions are fairly lengthy videos as it is. So that might like it's on the right track, but that might not be the best strategy at the moment. I did this with the death battle, but obviously death battle isn't going to be like to the same frequency, I would imagine, as these. In which case may not be. Do you think Kakatsu is winning? Oh, he's definitely winning this. He can't lose this. The plot demands it. Wait a few chapters? Okay, so there's a vote for that. Interesting. Maybe one thing we can do... Oh, actually, hold up a second. Maybe a Saturday stream would do it if I'm thinking about it. Because, like, if you do it there, maybe you just do it as a part of the beginning of the Saturday stream and then kind of, like, do the card fights just the day. That might actually be a stretch. Because these don't take very long, right? And it actually gets people, like, a chance to accumulate in there. Do for Saturday stream. Oh, good, I have the same idea. 90% sure Kakatsu wins. Yeah, I mean, if Kakatsu doesn't win here, they're gonna have to pull something out of their ass, and I feel like that's not a good look for the manga to immediately go back on its own rules. Kakatsu shouldn't feel invincible by the plot. He should feel invincible by his own skills and merit. And they're supporting this because they're gassing him up with like lore and feats, as they should. So it would be a really poor look if he needed to get bailed out of the first fight. Saturday stream could work as well. Yeah, Saturday stream could be good. Digimon Liberator and Vanguard. Oh, like a dual manga read. That actually could. Oh man, if I can get my buddy Scarlett on for that one, maybe you could do some voicing on this one too. There is potential in that. I'd have to consider that a bit. All right. So some good stuff there. And it seems like overall, I'm gonna hit this poll here. 22 votes. Looks like folks mostly really like this manga chapter, with a couple of exceptions there. People seem to think this was like either an 8 out of 10 or basically perfect. So yeah, that's a good showing for this. You could do this as it comes out, depending on what you're willing to deal with them being really quick. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think I'm going to do them as an individual, like, content gram. I'm strategizing on how to do them. Either put them as far as Saturday stream, put them as far as Liberator reading, or together. Saturday stream, I think, might be a little bit better, because even though, you know, with Liberator, they're both comic books, they're on pretty different subjects. So I think I may be going towards the Saturday stream route, but I'll keep you guys updated about that element. With that said, though, that's going to end today's stream. So thank you to everyone who came on by for the reading. This is a really good start. I'm looking forward to reading these as they come out in the future. And also, the death battle was pretty hype, all things considered. So yeah, I'd say that wraps up a really nice stream here. And if you guys are looking for content in the meantime, then look forward to some feature fights, because they're going to be coming out over the course of the few days. I've actually got a couple to record later on today, in fact. That's what I got to go to now. So yeah, look forward to some feature fights to give you up-to-dates on how the round 2 blocks have been shaping out for this deluxe tournament. And of course, we also have our regularly scheduled programs like Saturday stream, Digital Wednesday, all that good stuff. So look forward to that as well. And with all that said, take care, God bless, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.